Hey everybody, it's LeftySpinHand, your friendly neighborhood floating head. I want to welcome you to this week's episode of LeftySpinHands The Cut Prime Slices. This video is the result of a weekly process that happens live on my channel at Twitch TV. You can find the link right down there, but you can also find a clickable link even further down below this video in the description. On The Cut, I buy your robots and I put them to the test by running them through trials by combat. Each phase of testing raises the standards of success and failure, and it all culminates in this video series of matches with the finalists. Bear in mind that this has almost nothing to do with the quality of the build or its builder. It has everything to do with how I perform in the bot. If the bot doesn't fit my playstyle, then it not do so well, and so it might not make the cut. Bots that do meet the defined set of standards move on to the next phase, but bots that don't make the cut are disassembled and we never speak of them again. So let's take a quick look at the bots that beat out all the others over this week of LeftySpinHands The Cut. The Fox by Hamon009. This 1850 CPU art bot features 4 disintegrator, 2 ion distorters, 2 Colossus mech legs, a blink module. This thing has 40% health boost. This bot is so stylish and so functional. It's got short-range punch with side-mounted shotties. It's got medium and long-range lasers that really help this bot to back up its good looks. Its blink seems to be a little less helpful than it should have been, and I feel like it could have been sacrificed for a power module or simply for more damage boost. This is one of the few functional art bots that have been submitted to the cut, but this one stacks up really very nicely. It combines mid and short-range power with a very distinctive and fun look. This is Nucleus by Botonator666. It's a 1378 CPU walker. It's got 6 disintegrator SMGs. It's got a mortar. This thing has a 49% health boost and a 35% damage boost. While it may not be as tanky as some of the other mortar walkers that we've seen, this bot still applies damage really well. It uses the lasers for mid-range support and the voluntary tilt mortar for close-range fire. The health cube tilts seem to be a little more fragile than Boss's previous voluntary tilt model that had the shoulder rods that went all the way down to the ground, straight down, not at an angle. I feel like those made them a little less available to area of effect damage. These guys with the health cubes feel just a little more fragile. This bot isn't quite strong enough to initiate at caps or really even up to push up the middle, but it is an ideal finisher. You play this bot on the fringe of engagements. You secure kills and issue suppressive fire, and you will earn much pointage. This is Starlight by Dansky. It's an 1898 CPU flyer. It's got 5 disintegrator lasers, 5 devastator plasma cannons. It uses 12 albatross rudders, 17 carbon cheetah thrusters, 2 puma thrusters, and a thunderbolt propeller. This thing's got a 39% speed boost. This is a very tight maneuvering flyers. It's got lasers for dogfighting, plasmas for groundwork, and they all allow this bot to fill multiple roles in both game modes. This bot really shines when it's at 100% health. It's got good speed and excellent pitch control. It allows for steep climbs and dives that really help to dodge flak, evade missiles, and even surprise your enemies. All of that maneuverability, however, comes at a cost to the damage boost. Because of that, it takes a while to destroy higher CPU bots with those plasmas. The SMGs still manage to push enemy planes onto the defensive, and so they work really well for dogfighting. A majority of that formidable pitch control comes from front-mounted thrust boosters. Those guys are unguarded and they leave the bot nearly uncontrollable once they've been lost. This is Shrunken Master by Ensoface, my chief of staff. It's a 1352 CPU bot. It's got one Leviathan laser, one Goliathan plasma cannon, and that's it. This thing uses 12 Albatross wings, one Thunderbolt propeller, 4 Puma thrusters, one Cheetah thruster. This thing's got 35 damage boost, 24% speed boost, and 16% health boost. For a bot this small, that's actually a lot of boost. This is a very well-made little plane. It's fast and maneuverable, and it's still able to take a few punches before going down. It deals good damage due to that small size. Low CPU means high damage boost. The 2 mega weapons is usually a reason for me to assume the worst about the future of a bot, but the top-mounted MSMG is placed perfectly for dogfighting and even manages some pretty good ground strafing. The bottom Mega Plasma drops all that heavy DPS right where it's needed. As with most prop-assisted flyers, losing that rear-mounted prop means a significant hit to speed and maneuverability, but that small chassis keeps the loss from being like a kiss of death, because you can very often move to cover and re-heal. This is Spine Extractor by my man Dracovamp. It's a 1782 CPU bot. Uses 7 disintegrator lasers, 2 ion distorters, 4 invader rotor blades, and a kind of surprise amount of hidden thrust and hovers inside the chassis itself. This is another really nice shoddy chopper from Dracovamp 199. This craft loses its rotors well, turning into a balanced hover for ground escapes, which is good, except that it seems to happen a lot. This bot does keep its guns, and with their placements, it guarantees that the pilot's always got a shot, even at weird angles and at low health. It is a fast, powerful, maneuverable copter that works really well applying pressure at short and medium ranges. This is the Violator V2 by Jadeon Dragon. It's a full 2000 CPU bot. It uses 4 Eraser railguns, 2 ion distorters. It's got a power module packed in there. This guy uses 2 Titan mech legs, 3 Eagle rudders, 2 Puma thrusters, 1 Thunderbolt propeller, and a partridge in a pear tree. This is one of the better hoppers that we've come across at the cut. It's got a long glide, and it's the ability to turn in mid-glide without flipping out that really allows this bot to move across the battlefield effectively. Those rails are mounted well. There's 0 clipping even on those great big shotties mounted to the front. Their wide distribution makes it tough for an enemy to de-gun this bot completely. The shotties are front mounted and they're close together. That means that the barrel spin requires skirmish distances rather than brawling distances. You kind of need to keep a couple of feet between you and your enemy to use it effectively. And of course, they're so closely mounted together that any shoddy mounting guns, any bot mounting shotties that fires at you center mass is going to easily pull both of those guns away before you have a real good chance to use them.